Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. This week we have a fun video. I'm here with Dennis.
How's it going? Let's see if I get more time.
Hey guys, welcome back to this week's video. I'm here joined again with my good friend Dennis.
I'm back again.
And today we are gonna go over 5 drills that are gonna improve your overall tennis game. Now, the thing with these drills are that they're completely scalable. They're helpful to all levels, whether you're a beginner, intermediate level player, or advanced level player. And they're very versatile, meaning they're not necessarily just for ground strokes. They're not necessarily just for singles or doubles. It's good for your overall game. With all that being said, let's get started into the first drill. Very simple.
I need this.
Tempos is a drill where you and your partner are trying to hit a specific goal within a certain amount of time. This drill forces you to not only dial into your consistency, but also the pace of your ball. As you can imagine, as your skill level increases, you can also increase the goal number. For example, when we give this drill to beginners, we start them about 25 to 30 balls per minute and then gradually increase by increments of 5 as the level increases. For reference, our juniors who are about 6 UTRs and above shoot for 40 balls per minute. Our juniors who are under the 6 UTR mark usually shoot for 35 balls per minute. And I believe Djokovic's pace is between 45 to 50 balls per minute. I know that jump doesn't seem too drastic, but you'll realize that as you begin to increase pace, your control naturally starts to decrease as well. So it's important that you and your partner cooperate with one another. Otherwise, you'll realize just one mistake could cause you to miss your goal. Now, you can also add a lot of variety to this drill. Here, you can see Dennis and I working on keeping our toes on the baseline and trying our best not to back up. If you try this, you're generally shooting for about 1.5 times your original target, just because you're taking the ball earlier. And then here, we also showcase us working on tempos with our volleys, making sure that we keep the ball low, generally around chest levels. And for volleys, you're shooting for about 2x your original goal. So if your goal was 30, you're shooting for about 60. And yes, you can do this drill cross court as well. But if you really want to spice things up, try using only one ball for this drill. This forces you to learn how not to miss. If you miss, chase the ball down and continue until the timer runs out. This is super important because one, it teaches you not to give up, but also you can see what number you get at the end of the time with how many misses you make. I think it's really important to have these trackers in mind so that you can tell if you're improving or if you're getting stuck at a certain goal. And to make this drill even more difficult, you can increase the duration of this drill. But just as a note, as your duration increases, you might want to decrease your numbers slightly. We have to account for fatigue as well, right? For example, if your original goal was 35 balls per minute, around 2 minutes, I would continue to keep it at 70 balls, maintaining the 35 balls per minute. But once you reach about 3 minutes and more, I would go for maybe 100 balls. And if you do 5 minutes, you can go for 145 balls and above. One thing I do want to mention is all these 5 drills are not put in a specific order, but I would say that tempos are my top drill to practice. Here's a demo of Dennis and I completing this drill, but definitely after a few too many attempts. Accordions. This is an amazing warm-up drill, if not maybe the best warm-up drill possible. In this drill, you and your partner have a shared starting point. Generally, you start from the service line. You both will take 2 shots each from the service line and then move back about halfway into no man's land, take 2 more shots, move back to the baseline, 2 more shots, and then take 2 to 3 steps behind the baseline, and you guessed it, taking 2 more shots each. As the space between you and your partner increases, so does your depth and the pace of your ball. By the time you're behind the baseline, you should be taking full swings and working on getting the ball towards your partner. Now, if you don't know what an accordion is, it's just a musical instrument that musicians have to fold in and out to produce sound. So, yep, you guessed it, the drill doesn't stop when you get back. Now you have to make your way back up to the service line, hitting 2 shots in each position. Once again, controlling your depth and length of the swing. One thing I do want to mention is that it's important that you're paying attention to what shot you're on, because let's say you're at the service line and your partner moves back. If you keep that ball short, then your accordion is kind of ruined because now your partner has to move back up to get it. So it's important to keep track of how to lead your partner and control the depth as everyone is moving. The goal is to see how many complete accordions you can perform in one rally. One complete accordion is just moving all the way back, moving all the way up. A few things to note are, if you make a mistake, go ahead and start from where you left off. So if you missed in no man's land, you can start from no man's land. But if you're a perfectionist, feel free to start from the very beginning with your partner. Like I said, it's a very cooperative drill, so just make sure everyone's on the same page with the details. Here, you can see Dennis and I working on our ad side cross courts. I definitely need to do this drill a little bit more with my backhand. And then we also work the front half of the court where we use only our continental grips for slices and volleys. Like I said, a lot of these drills have a lot of flexibility to them. You can be as creative with them as you want. But like I said, this is probably the best warm-up drill. It's a drill that we use very commonly in our program, so I suggest you guys give it a try.
All right, so just got done with the accordion and on to drill number 3, patterns.
I did get to try some different patterns out, see where he got going for me.
All right, Dennis, you ready to make me run around?
I try.
All right, let's get to it.
Patterns. Patterns are amazing because they create full court scenarios for both players to drill. But at the same time, they definitely suck because they generally require a lot more movement than any of the ones I've listed before. There are ways to simplify them so that it's not too intensive, but still beneficial for both players. In this drill, Dennis and I are doing an isolated short ball pattern. Dennis is the isolated one here, so he only has to focus on staying on the deuce side of the court, which means, yeah, I'm the one who has to run around a bit. We start off the drill in a cross-court rally, focusing on hitting deep. Anytime that I hit shorter than the service line, Dennis has to change direction and go line. From there, I'm looking to play the ball back to Dennis into his isolated half, and then we continue the drill from there. As long as I'm maintaining depth, I don't have to worry about moving. That's kind of where this drill becomes difficult because the isolated person is the one who gets to dictate this. As you can see, I've set up some cones as targets for me to focus on. I just think sometimes it's important to have visual markers on court. Obviously, we have to balance it out by having Dennis isolate on the ad side, but do not forget to switch roles. Everybody deserves a break. I want to have an honorable mention. This is another pattern that we call the pyramid. Once again, a very popular pattern that we do amongst our program. This one requires everyone to move around and is extremely intensive, but also extremely satisfying when completed. Here's how it works. One partner will only hit cross court. In this case, that's Dennis. While the other partner is working on hitting a 3x 1 line, 3x 1 line, 2x 1 line, 2x 1 line, 1x 1 line, 1x 1 line. In this case, that's me working the pattern. And I know that sounds pretty confusing, so I think it's better if I just show you. Hopefully you can hear it, but I'm calling out line every time I change directions so that Dennis is aware of which part in the drill I'm on. This is because sometimes maybe I hit a ball that isn't up to my standards. I don't want Dennis to count it and I don't want to count it. So I'll continue to play the next ball until I feel comfortable. That's why when I call line before I hit, Dennis knows it's time to move on. Once again, this is a very cooperative drill. A lot of these pattern drills work best as long as the ball is being made, so there has to be a ton of consistency. And one more detail is, just like you saw, when you complete one pattern, don't stop. Try to see how many complete pyramids you can do in one rally. It's definitely a tough drill, but like I said, I hope you guys give it a try. It's very, very satisfying when you finish a whole pattern. And once again, if it's too intensive to start, you can always just start with a shorter pattern. You can do a 2x 1 line into a 1x 1 line and then just move on from there. Transitions. So a lot of these drills we've been doing are mainly focused on side-to-side movement, but we definitely can't forget moving forward and back. Very similar to the short ball pattern that I just mentioned, Dennis and I are hitting down the line, but anytime someone hits in the service box, you must approach the net. But just to make things a little bit more challenging, we decided to start with our toes on the baseline, not allowing us to step off of it. taking one step back only if we need to. Some of the main focuses here are to have a deep approach shot or to have an impactful one so that when you transition, you get an easier first volley. An impactful approach could be anything from just targeting your partner's weak side, making sure you hit a deep approach shot, or even hitting a low slice, forcing your opponent to hit up as you're approaching. And then from there, learning how to close the point at net with only half a court. A good way to start is to try some patterns such as hitting your first volley deep, hopefully getting a weak response, and then playing your second volley short. And if you're the person getting stuck back, you can work on your two-shot pass, where as they're transitioning forward, you're working on your first ball low to their feet, and then maybe as they approach afterwards, you can look to pass them or to hit the lob over them. And if you're a doubles player, this is a fantastic drill to work on in the cross court. And if you really want to spice things up, you can try this using only your continental grip. So slices and volleys only.
On to our fifth and final drill. It's been a crazy workout so far. Dennis has been going through it a little bit.
It's pretty fun. I've never done these before.
Yeah.
Or some similar stuff, but I can see why these kids are so good.
Moving on to the final drill, drill number 5. What we have is a live ball drill that you can do down line, down the middle, cross court. The only rule to this is that you have 3 shots. You have your high heavy deep ball, you have your drive, and then you have your slice. You can't hit the same ball twice in a row. Got that, Dennis?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're gonna get right to it, and I'm gonna leave future Kevin for the commentary. Let's get to it.
Last but not least, mix-ups. This is another amazing warm-up drill. The idea is that you're forcing yourself to work on a variety of shots, even if you don't use them in a match. A lot of times during warm-ups, and I'm guilty of it as well, we tunnel vision and just focus on making sure that our balls go in and that we hit our targets, right? It's practice and it's a warm-up practice, so why not work on the skills that you don't use often as well? This drill also focuses on your decision-making and the time it takes to make those decisions. As you can see right here, Dennis gets caught out of position just because he wasn't able to make up his mind. As another example, let's say you don't have a good slice, right? But on the ball before you just took as a driving ball, now you're stuck with 2 options, slice and a high heavy ball. If your partner hits a low ball and you're stuck with uncomfortable options, well, now you're just hoping that you find a way to make it work. So it's important that you're thinking about the shots to use depending on what your opponent hits. Now, if you're uncomfortable with one of the 3 options, you can always keep it down to just 2 of them and work on alternating. Or maybe even just setting rules such as you can't hit the same ball more than 2 times in a row. It's definitely good to set these parameters to kind of force yourself into uncomfortable situations during practice, just because, you know, you'll eventually become comfortable with them if you practice enough, and then that will translate into your match play. Hope everyone enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far in the video, comment down below what drill you'd like to try or what your favorite drill is. I'd definitely love to try some new ones. Or also, if you have any questions regarding these drills, feel free to reach out to me via Instagram or leave a comment down below again. Otherwise, enjoy this outro.
We're absolutely gassed right now, but those are the top 5 drills that truthfully has been working a lot with our juniors, run it with a bunch of adult clinics that I've done. But I mean, I don't know, Dennis, what did you think about those drills?
Yeah, some are very intense, very control oriented. They control your depth really well. I like the pyramid one. That was a hustle.
Like I said, a lot of these drills were made to be very versatile. They're scalable across all levels of play, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. But not only that, like I said, you can increase the intensity as much as you want, right? Like for example, with tempos, like I mentioned, you can start off with a low number from like 30 in a minute. You can go up to 35 per minute. Djokovic does it around 45 to 50 per minute, so that's kind of your gauge. And like I said, with all these drills, you can do a lot of different variations with them, which just allow for so much creativity. Like I said, you can work the front half of the court, side to side, back half of the court. It's just, these drills are very flexible. So yeah, any closing words?
Do it again.
Absolutely not. No, I'm gassed right now. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did,
like the video, subscribe, comment.
Like, comment, subscribe down below. It helps out the channel a ton, so I can hopefully post out more of these videos and just do more content. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.